Another day of jury deliberations at the Percoco corruption trial, but still no verdict, no resolution. Now, the jury reportedly deadlocked, but the judge is having none of them going home. He's having them return again tomorrow and take yet another crack at it. Dominic Carter, he's at the courthouse in Lower Manhattan with the story.
And good evening to you, Richard. For this 12-member panel, it is simple. They say they cannot reach a verdict.
Doesn't Dominic Carter look handsome today? Look at, he's got his tie done today. His collars are straight. Every day.
Joe Percoco appeared to be in a good mood as he left the courthouse. It's all a waiting game now. For the second time, the jury informed federal judge Valerie Caproni that there is no way they are going to be able to come to a verdict. Quote, after considering the facts and the evidence with open minds and using your instructions as a roadmap, we remain unable to reach a unanimous verdict. The judge's response, Judge Caproni said, it's obvious you are giving this case the attention it deserves. I'm going to ask you to continue to deliberate. Counselor, yet again, the jury says it cannot reach a decision.
That's what we hear, and we continue to be patient and hopeful, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. It's a hard read when we didn't get any notes today other than the one indicating that they're having difficulty coming to a decision. So we'll see what tomorrow brings.
Joseph Percoco was accused of taking more than $300,000 in bribes from 3 executives with business before the state.
And so it continues, Dominic. Here's my question. Is it safe to say from the folks you're talking to that every day this drags out without a verdict, it makes it less and less likely the jury is going to come to a unanimous decision, especially for a guilty conviction? Is that fair?
That is exactly dead on, Richard. The situation we're dealing with right now is not if there'll be a mistrial. The question is, when will a mistrial be announced? Now, here's the sticky point. There have been other cases historically where, Richard, where juries have not been able to reach a decision, and then, boom, at the 11th hour, they actually reach a compromise and come to a conclusion and reach a decision. It appears, Richard, that's not going to happen in this case. There are so many scenarios here playing out. Defense attorneys are already talking about, Richard, if there was a conviction, and the jury left here about 4 hours ago, they're back again tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. But, Richard, defense attorneys are already talking about words like coercion, that if the jury did reach a verdict, their lead appeal would be that they were forced to do so after they already proclaimed twice that they cannot agree. So Richard, there are so many things that are playing out right now in this courtroom, and Judge Caproni, if you will, is almost in the middle trying to lead the jury while at the same time trying to deal with federal prosecutors and 4 different defense teams. It's almost like a maze every day, Richard.
Listen, at the risk of getting Judge Caproni mad at me, by all accounts, she's a terrific jurist who runs a good courtroom. However, this is crazy, Dom. They got to send him home at 2 o'clock every day because one juror's got child care issues. Then on top of that, you got people who all had to be threatened to come in and continue to do deliberations. It's like the folks already decided they want to go home, and the judge just says, you just can't quit now. We're at the finish line. I mean, I've never seen anything like this.
Richard, I agree with you, but let's just talk for a second about all the different things that are going on. And I'm going to throw one more monkey wrench into what the scenario you just described. There are 3 jurors, at least 3, that live in Westchester County. So tomorrow morning, we're supposed to have snow. So we don't know, and the judge already closed the court for 1 day because of bad weather, so we don't know what can happen tomorrow, even though they have been told to report. So let's deal with the different situations quickly that you just brought up, Richard. The one juror, juror number 7, she's a mother of 2 kids, and she was the one why they switched the hours of deliberations from 9 to 5:30 until 9 to 2. And it's because they were trying to be accommodating to her. So one would say, why would you want to be accommodating to a juror? Here's the answer, Richard. The alternates, there are 4, they might be down to 3 alternates now. They are not here at the courthouse. If Judge Caproni, and this happened, Richard, I know you recall because we talked about it many times on your show. In the Menendez trial, remember what happened when the juror went on vacation? The alternate juror had to step in, and that means that deliberations have to start all over again. So the judge is trying to avoid that. If you replace this woman juror, who is the mother, then deliberations start all over again from day one. Now, you ask the question of why is the court going through all of this? It's real simple, Richard, and it comes down to what is always the case normally, dollars and cents. The public does not consider these facts, but the feds have spent several $1 million on this prosecution. Each defense, you have 4 defendants, 3 other defendants besides Percoco, white-collar crime, defense lawyers. These cases could run as high as $500,000, $1 million per client. So you have millions spent by the prosecutors, millions spent by the defense, and if you just throw it all out the window, then all that money is gone. So that's why the judge, Richard, is trying her best to hold on. But it is a foregone conclusion. It appears this jury is not going to come back with a verdict one way or the other. They are split, Richard, and that is where we stand. So the only question, Richard, is when does Judge Caproni declare a mistrial?
Well, we know it isn't going to be today, Dominic. And as I say, and so it continues. Dominic, as always, great job. I'll talk to you later, pal.
Thank you, Richard.
And coming up next, President Trump visiting Pennsylvania to stump for a candidate in a special election the nation will be watching. It's happening tomorrow. We're going to explain why this one is so closely watched just about everywhere.